Alright, so I wanted to do a tutorial on this song because the other day I was just hanging out in the living room and I really wanted to learn just quickly how to play this song on guitar, and I realized that all of the tutorials of it were wrong, even though this song is like 20 years old or more. I don't know. It's an old song already. And it's one of my favorite songs from when I was a kid. It was one of the openings of the original Fullmetal Alchemist. And of course, I'm talking about Rewrite by Asian Kung Fu Generation, which I'm going to be calling it AKG moving forward. So there's two guitars being played. The singer kind of plays guitar every once in a while and then stops, and there's another guitarist who kind of plays with it too. And the chord progressions and the production of the song and the arrangement is like such a good workshop on J-Rock, and I love this band. I think it just has like a very specific gritty sound to it, and it's like a cool indie sound to it. So yeah, I'm gonna teach you how to play the song. So first of all, we're looking at the intro, and I'm gonna be labeling this from like when the song starts up until the vocals start. So first I'm gonna teach one of those guitars, and then I want to come back and teach the other of the guitars. And I want to kind of do this section per section. So the lead guitar, I guess, plays this little thing here. So this is the first riff that starts in the song, and we're looking at second to last fret. We're doing octaves, and octaves is this really cool little post-hardcore thing, this emo thing, where you're just playing the same note but like an octave higher. So we're looking at the 9th fret, you skip a string, and then you skip 2 frets, and you play this guitar, this note here. And while you're doing that, you're kind of like muting the other notes. So it goes 9th fret, 7th fret, and I'm just focusing on what my pointer finger is doing. 9th fret, 7th fret, and then 14th fret. So that's the first part of the lead guitar. So after this part, it goes to another riff, which is even cooler, and it goes like this. Actually, it goes like this. And I say it actually goes like this because there's actually a little slide that I think it's important to note. So how to play this is on the lowest string, it's 5th fret. And then 3rd to lowest string, you're gonna play the 6th fret, down to a 4th fret, down to a 7th fret on the 2nd to lowest string. So you kind of do this from the 7th fret on the 2nd to lowest string to the 4th fret on the 3rd to lowest string. So, and then you play that again, but you start on the 7th fret on the lowest string. So that's the lead guitar for the intro of the song. Now let's look at the rhythm guitar, which is also very interesting. There's actually a lot going on here that like throwing curveballs at you if you're like paying attention to the harmonic progression of the song, so the actual chord progression, the theory of the song. So we started up with a C minor chord. You can play it down here or you can play it up here. So if you're looking at bar chord, it's going to be at the 9th fret on the lowest string, and then you're going to do a minor shape on that. that's the C sharp minor. And then you go down to a A major chord. And then you go up to a B major chord. Ooh. So this is actually a really common chord progression in J-rock, and I don't remember off the top of my head, but I saw a really cool video about it a while back on like this Japanese guitar player kind of like breaking down, you know, like common like chord progressions in Japanese rock. And I think I saw this there, but it is like, and then you go down to, and that's a B major chord, and then you go down to a F sharp minor chord, and you play that again, and then you stay on that B major chord, and then you make it into a B sus chord. And what did that do is, so the shape of the major chord is, and there's this little note here. So what you're actually going to do is you're going to play all 7 frets on the second, third, and fourth lowest strings. So again, so it goes. And then the chord progression changes again, and now we're looking at kind of this like power chord, but that takes in consideration the major 7th. So a normal power chord would be like this on A, but because this A is clashing with the riff, you actually play, you don't play this A up here, you play a G sharp down here, and then the E is the same, so. And then you go up to a B sus chord, so. This is kind of like what I'm guessing they play. I guess it could be like, but I'm like hearing something right here. So I'm gonna say proceed with caution, either play this note or this note. So yeah, all together it goes. So that's the intro. Really cool. Really cool harmony, really cool little guitar riffs happening. And then the verse is actually pretty similar to the last bit of the riff from the intro. So we're looking at one of the guitars playing just a slightly different chord here, as far as I can tell. And this is a major 7 chord on this shape here. It's a little tricky. It's a bossa nova chord, at least I learned as a bossa nova chord. So you do play this A here on the 5th fret on the lowest string, and then we're looking at 3rd to lowest string on the 6th fret, and then 6th fret on the 4th to lowest string, and then the 5th fret on the 2nd high string. So, and then the 2nd chord is that same B chord that we're working with. So we're looking at B, and then 7th fret on the string under that, and then 9th fret on the string under that, and then 8th fret on that string under that. So, and it does a little like flare sometimes, I think. So yeah, so all together it kind of sounds like this. Then you play that, and then it's like the same thing as before. So we have like the riff revamped coming in, which is just like I already taught you. So you just play that again, and it comes back to the 2nd verse and the 2nd part of the 1st verse, which is very similar to the 1st one. The only difference is that right before the chorus on that B major chord, which you're going like, you kind of play this. So you absolutely will be playing that sus chord up there. And the other guitar, the lead guitar, will be playing. It's going to be a power chord, and then you play the middle note in between it. So it's an octave, and then the fifth, which is the middle note of the power chord. And this other part here, as the verse progresses, we have the 12th fret, then the 14th fret of the other string, and then the 10th, and then the 11th fret, and then the 14th fret again. And you kind of just play it this. This octave note right here, which is like a E octave, so the 7th fret on, again, looking about the pointer, 7th fret on the second to lowest string. And then it goes to the chorus. Alright, so the rhythm guitar for the chorus is really, really fun. It actually took me a while to figure it out. And I think I got really close. I don't know if I'm playing like perfectly exactly like they are, but it definitely sounds like it, so I don't know. So the rhythm guitar is playing this. So it starts with that E major 7 chord that I taught you early. And then you slide up to the 12th fret with the same shape. However, as you're doing the shape, your thumb goes down to the 11th fret, and that's the only thing that changes. So this is pretty much like this is a E major 7 chord. Actually, let me double check something. Okay, I double checked, and this is my take on it. So after this chord, you can go up here and play this, because I think that's what they're playing, because it sounds very high. However, if you play this chord down here, the C sharp minor chord, you can come up with like similar results. But yeah, I don't know. Something tells me that this sounds better. I trust my ear better here. But if you're feeling uncomfortable, you can definitely play this C sharp minor chord afterwards. Then after that, you're going to B major, just like earlier. But this one is just a major chord. It's not a sus chord. So, and then you end on a E major chord. No 7 as far as I know. You can play that here, or you can play that up here. Or down here. Whatever is your favorite E major shape that you like. But yeah. Yeah, and this goes forward. So after the chorus, there's like this little bridge. And I'm talking before the actual like crazy part of the song. So it kind of just goes for a little longer. So... And the lead guitar is actually playing very similar to what they were playing earlier in the song. So... bridges, right before after the singer starts singing, even like the whoa, the guitar plays this little riff here. So what that is just I'm talking about the pointer finger, 7th fret, second to lowest string, 9th fret, and then it goes to 11th fret and then 9th fret. So. And then it goes to the bridge part, the different part of the song. All right, and the first part of this bridge, one guitar is doing, so on the lowest string, 5th fret, that's an A. And then you go to this E major chord, or E power chord, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's an E major chord, which is the E on the second to lowest string, 7th fret. Meanwhile, the other guitar, the lead guitar, is playing a muted note. So it's a play on that riff from the beginning. So it goes like this. So first note is 5th fret and lowest string. Then 7th fret, second to the lowest string. And then 6th fret, third to lowest string. Yeah. And then 4th fret, third to lowest string, and then you keep doing switching between the 7th fret, so that E note right there. So. The lead guitar, when it plays that E major chord, it's actually switching between the 9th and the octave, so the 9th fret and the 7th fret, so. Alright, so for the bridge, we're looking at, it has this kind of ethereal little effect that's happening. And what I think they're doing, listening to the notes very closely, they're overlaying 2 guitars because they have 2 guitar players. And one of them is playing the first half of this C sharp minor 7 chord, and the other guitar is playing the second half of that chord. So what that means is that one of the guitars is playing 3 notes. First note is 11th fret on the third to lowest string, and then 9th fret on the third to highest string, and then 9th fret again on the second to the highest string. So, and then the second guitarist is playing 9th fret on the third to highest string, 9th fret on the second to highest string, and then 7th fret on the highest string. So together. And then from then it goes to kind of this more choppy part of the song, which I really like it's very rhythmic. And as far as I can tell, only one guitar is playing, and it's playing a little pizzicato, short notes. It's playing this riff. is on the 3rd to highest string, you play that 6th fret. Actually starts with the 9th fret on the 2nd to highest string. And then it goes to the 3rd to highest string, 6th fret. And then 9th fret on the 3rd to highest string. So, and it goes back to C, to the 6th fret on the 3rd to highest string. Oh my god, I'm sorry this is so confusing. But this is the 6th fret to the 3rd to the highest string. This is kind of like the lending bass. So every note that is played is followed by that note. So, and I'm going to explain in a second. The last note that you're going to be playing is the 7th fret on the highest string. So all together, it kind of looks like this. And then we're looking at this after this part, which is going to transition into the chorus again. We have, again, this C sharp minor chord happening. And I think one of the guitars is playing this chord right here. And the other is still kind of playing this, or I'm not entirely sure which, but one of these chords. That might not be entirely true, but just go with this chord. You're going to be safe. It's a safe bass. Don't listen to the bass. It's doing something different. Don't worry about it now. But it is kind of like picking different notes of the chord. And it creates this nice little inversion effect to it, which is really sweet. But yeah, so... And then you get the other guitar picking up that octave on the 11th fret on the 2nd to highest string, 2nd to lowest string. So yeah, that's it. Other than that is just like the end of the song is kind of the same. The only thing that's really changing is like the drums. You know, you go through the chorus, you go through like the post-chorus again. One of the guitars is doing. And then you're done. You're done. It's like the same thing as the other part of the songs. So yeah, I'm really glad that I finally got to do this song. It's just been like on my mind for such a long time because I don't like anything that people have put out about this song. I don't think it does justice to the song. I don't think it's like really... I think someone might have just like wrote it on like Ultimate Guitar like years ago and just like everyone's just been just like copying that instead of like actually sitting down and listening to the song. So I'm really happy I did this song because it is like... My little baby me is just really happy, not baby. My little 80-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old me is just really happy that I did this song right now because it is like one of my favorite songs from when I was a kid. In fact, I used to pretend, I used to lie that I knew how to speak Japanese because I sung this song. And of course, I don't think anyone believed me, but like, I would be like, yeah, I know Japanese. And I would sing this song as a kid. And then I'd be like, and I knew all the translation. I don't know anything anymore, but like, I'd be like, yeah, it means this, this, and this, and this, and that, and that. And I'm so smart. But yeah, this is the song. This is Revived by Asian Kung Fu Generation. And I'm really, really happy I did it finally. You should definitely check them out. They're really cool band. All right. Bye-bye.